Hey everyone, welcome back to Dink and Dissect. On this channel, we do a full match analysis where we focus specifically on court positioning, shot selection, and the decisions that actually win or lose pickleball games. So, in this specific match, it is our second game of the tournament. We do have a pretty bad result where we lose 2-11. The main reason being this right here. So, as you can see, we had 11 attempts to get up to the kitchen and we only converted on 4 of them. When you don't convert at a high clip, you are going to lose big time. So I didn't track our opponents, but I would assume that they got to the kitchen way more than we did. So with this, it gives us a very clear indication of what we need to work on going forward. Let's go ahead and jump right into the match. So a good deep serve. This comes back in the mid-court, and we are able to drop it. Not super aggressive, but that's a ball that needs to be put away. Not something that, if it's that high, that needs to go ahead and be countered downwards.
No, he wasn't.
So just a small mistake. Need to go ahead and clean that up. So something that we like here is a nice deep return. They do a good job there. It wasn't their third shot, but their fifth shot, they took it out of the kitchen. And now they are fully established. Good job by this player going ahead and trying to put it out wide and moving me off the right spot. One of my favorite shots is when you get something high like this. When you get something high like this, very rarely do I like to push it forward on the first one. I like to go for a big angle. The reason I like to go for angles is because a lot of times courts are there's not a lot of width on the outside. So if you get a sharp angle, once it hits the court, it just goes into the fence and the point is over. So make sure you're utilizing your angles when you have overheads. So we are able to go ahead and get established here. And when they're going back like this, it's very hard for the opposing left side player to be aggressive. Again, I would like my partner right here to go ahead and take a step in, be leaning in case he drops it in the middle, he could be aggressive with that ball. There's also a high likelihood when they have this body positioning that they're going to go down the line. So you see me getting ready for the Ernie. And so in this case, he does the right choice. He puts it in the middle. Something that could have been reached out of the air. Just a missed opportunity. So a good speed up. He got low. Just needs to keep that thing lower. That probably would have worked if we could have kept it inside. So let's look at this point right here. He does a good job countering down. I just popped that up, trying to reset. Didn't work out that time. So the drive in that case didn't work out for us. Again, one of the small mistakes of the third shot drive isn't always effective. If it works, it's great, but sometimes when it's not, it can really be a hindrance. Just a ball that goes into the net. A lot of times when that goes over, there's a lot of pressure on our opponents, and we weren't able to go ahead and apply that pressure there. Good slice. And again, he caught that out of the air in the middle on his forehand. Just unfortunate that it goes out of bounds. A little bit too much juice on that. And see how this continues playing out. So good job there. A lot of times what I want to point out here, look at how much spin this ball has. He's able to get behind it. He puts a lot of top spin on that. You see me, I'm not going to try and do anything crazy with that. I go ahead and concede the kitchen. I do overall like our game at the kitchen, so I've got no issue conceding the kitchen. One of my favorite shots to do, and so I want to point this rep out, okay? So a good way to earn a pop-up for your left side partner is to go ahead, if you can catch it out of the air, roll it deep to the other side. So let me show you what I mean. So he puts good spin on that. A lot of times we are taught when you get a 2E, go ahead and crash that middle hard because there is a good chance for an error. Here I am very balanced. I know what's coming. I am able to catch this out of the air And look at where this ball goes. I roll it heavy towards the outside. He has to rush because he is so far in the middle and earns a pop-up right here. This is, again, a great way to earn a pop-up. If you see your opponent trying to be aggressive and hug that middle, if you are able to catch it out of the air, roll it to the outside. And a lot of times, if you roll it really well, that's a straight-up winner. But if not, if they're able to catch onto it like he does here, it's an easy pop-up for your left side player. That one's just unfortunate, goes into the net. So good job there returning it deep. He gets a little lucky and a great highlight right there. He gets a little lucky that it bounces over the tape. That's what you can do with good topspin on your drops. If they hit the tape with a lot of topspin, it will go ahead and roll over. That is a short return, something that needs to get cleaned up on. You see me do it again. I'm able to catch it out of the air, and this time I roll it deeper in the transition zone. Continue to roll over there. Because this player is left-handed, it is my forehand versus his backhand, and I like that matchup 9 out of 10 times. Just unfortunate there. It bounces off the tape, and I'm not able to get it back over. You hate to see those kind of points, especially since they were on offense. But it goes both ways. That's just unfortunate. You see the flamingo. This is the right idea. I might need to go more through that ball, but I'm trying to keep them back. They know it's deep. They are back. I could have done the safe play and just dropped it into the kitchen. Not the time for that. This is one of those decisions where the decision is correct, the execution was not. Again, if that lands, they're pinned back and we have complete advantage. Again, not what you want to see right there is that they get a free point off of that. Okay, so now what you're seeing here is this player is understanding that I am rolling heavy. Because he is left-handed, he goes ahead and slides over and takes that with his forehand. That's one of those where I need to recognize that. It's hard to in the moment because I like that shot so much, but this is an in-game adjustment. So if he's starting to recognize that and shifting out that way, I need to go ahead and start going more middle of the court if he's going to slide out there, if he sees me catching it out of the air. Now we know that he's starting to slide towards the sideline. I can have a lot of opening in the middle, or I can go ahead and try and get behind this opposing left side player. And so you can see here, I don't think that these players in the near court have driven a lot. They are doing a good job of dropping and getting into the kitchen. That's one of those where the positioning is correct. This is a good rep because it's high and outside. He's going to have a chance to be aggressive with this. You see me stepping over the center line and waiting with this two-handed backhand. So the positioning is correct. This has to go ahead and be countered downwards because this is an easy point for us. It all has to work together, but I argue that the positioning is harder than the actual shot. The shots are just repetition. That's something that you can get onto a ball machine and just work on. But the positioning, being in the right spot at the right time is so key. And in this case, you see a couple of times, a little unlucky, but we are in the correct spots. Great shot right here. So look at what this player does. Something that we can all learn. So you could do this even on the right side. This player, because he is left-handed, he pushes it out wide. It's not anything crazy, but it's so out wide, it goes down the line. So you see here, he knows that's probably going to happen. He's already cheating over that way, goes over the line and slams this ball. It's just a great shot. Good deep serve. Just a very poor drive. So, again, one of the things we talked about, that's one of those attempts where we have the ball. We need to do something with it. We need to convert at a higher clip. Very poor. One of those instances right here where I go ahead and roll to the outside. Let's see what he does when I roll this. So you can see I'm catching it out of the air. He sees that and he starts scooting that way. A lot of times I'm used to players just coming straight in and getting a lot of free points out here. He's recognized my tendencies. I need to go ahead and adjust to that. Good job by this player. He knows that I have Ernie'd once. It's in his best interest to go ahead and continue trying to dink towards the middle of the court if he gets caught out wide like that, which he's done a good job doing so far. Oh, he gets it again. Just puts a little bit too much on that. So this player likes to go towards the sideline and just wait for them to go down the line. Something to keep in mind. The way to, I think, counteract that is if he keeps doing that, his partner probably knows that he's going to go for that semi-Ernie. There's going to be a big gap on his left side over here. So something that we could expose if we can roll over there. Again, easier said than done in the moment. So something that you see right here, they are going to go ahead and stack and unwind the stack. This is a good opportunity for if we get a decent ball, go ahead and drive the ball down the line on the opposing left side player because he is running across and there's a chance that he could be late and cause an error. So in this case, they do a good job of returning deep. So he's already established by the time he's making contact. And again, just one of those possessions where we aren't able to get up in there. So something that's good with these players is they have done a good job so far of having deep returns. Makes it hard to punish that stack. So look at these drops. Yes, they do have a little bit of spin, but look at the margin which they go over the net. I'm getting low already. What is that? 2.5, 3 feet of space between the net? That always ensures that you're going to get the ball over. You just have to deal with a little bit of offense. In this case, because of the trajectory of it, I wasn't able to put a lot on it, but they still have to take this from the midcourt. Okay, great shot right there. This time instead, so I do change it a little bit. This time instead of rolling out wide, which I think in my mind, he keeps going out wide. So now the middle should be open. That was interesting form. I think he just stuck his paddle out. And, I mean, obviously something to be excited about that you get that. One of the dangers of having 2 forehands in the middle. Oh, and that's just unfortunate. Again, that's one of those balls that you can't dink. It's up high. You have to be aggressive with this. Yeah, there's absolutely no reason to go ahead and shy away from that. I'm catching it way above the level of the net. I need to go ahead and stay aggressive with that. I just didn't convert. So as of this point, we've had 3, 4, 5 balls that we've had the chance to be aggressive on and go in the net. Just unfortunate. Sometimes it doesn't go our way. So something, again, small, but I need to point out, I'm giving them too easy of shots. These returns have to be much deeper. And again, something that when you watch the tape, you don't pay attention to in the middle of the match. But I could make life a lot harder for these guys by having deep returns. Instead, I'm giving them almost a free pass into the kitchen. They hit this, and by the time I'm making contact, this player on the right side is established, and he is 2-3 feet behind the line. Unfortunately there, we lose that dinking rally, and it's just one of those games where not a lot of things are going right. But that's okay, we can learn from these. One of the only drives so far that I can remember seeing from this team, and it goes into the net. Again, they're so far ahead points-wise at this point that they can try different things out. But good to know that if we keep them deep, mistakes do happen. Another one where this is only 2-3 feet behind the line. He is walking up with no pressure and putting it up. They aren't able to advance after he hits that because he's trying to put a little bit of spin on that. Just barely dances over. But again, that all starts, good speed up right there. It all starts because the returns are short. I need to make life a lot harder for the opponent by going ahead and keeping deep returns. It's a good serve, a good deep serve. One of the few times we were able to get into the kitchen. Well, we would have been established if that got over. Good job by this player on the left side with the decision to go ahead and concede the kitchen. He was contacting it below the level of the net, and not much he could do there. So he was accepting that the kitchen was going to be conceded. Again, great drop right there. He goes ahead and concedes the kitchen, but he does it with a little flair by going ahead and pushing this towards the outside. Good lob. So that's one of the times that we've had success. This just needs to have more loft on it. But you go ahead and see we drop that ball, we catch it in the midcourt, and we're almost able to get established in the kitchen. That ball, he pushed it out wide towards my forehand. There's no excuse for that. That has to go over the net. Good return by them. So this is nice. They've consistently had deep returns. I don't think once I've called them out for having a short return, but made it really hard for us. And again, that's just another opportunity where we had a chance to get a couple points and we're just not able to get to the net. In both those possessions, again, we weren't able to get to the net. In the whole entirety of the match, there were only 4 times we were able to get established at the net. So that's what happens when we are able to return deep. Because of how he's trying to put a lot of topspin on this, he goes ahead and puts it into the net and gives us another chance. So very small tweaks here. Let's watch this. Good deep return. Goes ahead and catches this. Oh, man. Bounces off the net and bounces twice, and that's the game right there. So there you have it. That was a really poor showing in terms of points. There were some good reps in there, especially learning how to create a pop-up on the right side for your left side partner. Easy tweaks right there to go ahead and fix that and not have that same result happen again. That being that when you return, make it a priority to always try and get it deep. Again, the worst thing you can do in pickleball is to go ahead and miss a return long. So there is a good balance there, but it's almost equally as bad to go ahead and give them a return very short. The next thing, and the only 2 things I'm going to focus on going forward, would be to go ahead and make sure we get up to the kitchen. You can see that we have a very similar percentage last game, but last game we were able to go ahead and score off of drives or third shot drives, which you should not depend on. And we were able to get some points off of the serve, which again, you should not depend on. As you get higher and higher in level, that's less likely to happen. So at the 4-5 level, I don't think we scored off 1 third shot drive or a serve. So very easy tweaks. Go ahead and get to the kitchen more and return deep. Let me know, do any of your games look like this? Do you struggle with some of the same things? Or are your returns and is your kitchen arrival very good already? Let me know in the comments below, and go ahead and like and subscribe because we will be doing another breakdown